guys, welcome back to Callie and Beans Books. I'm Brittany and I'll be doing another Bookmas video today. Today it's all about the most disappointed books I had of 2019, two of which were already discussed in our Books of the Month series that I will link videos below, and two I've already unhauled. I'll actually start with those two. So the first most disappointing book that I had was 7 Ways We Lie by Redgate. It was really intriguing. The cover has "Hello, my name is" with the 7 deadly sins. It had, the synopsis had some of the 7 deadly sins themes to it. It just didn't have that in the book itself. Like, the story followed 7 different people, a school scandal where one of the characters actually had an affair with one of the teachers. So it follows that reveal, follows the different characters and how they handle the situation, how they handle the secrets, and then they're just relationships coming out of that secret being revealed. And at first I was actually kind of enjoying the story, and then it just kind of felt there was nothing to it. I've actually beat this book up enough. I think this also was featured in my contemporary wrap-up. A couple of these have been on my contemporary wrap-up, but I'll still kind of mention them in this video as well. So overall, I gave it a 2.5 star. I did end up finishing it just because I'm one of those people that I have to finish the story. I'm just so curious that I have to know how it ends. There have been a couple that I'm like, maybe I could go without finishing it, but the little voice in my head's like, no, you really want to know how this ends. So I ended up finishing that book, and overall, I was pretty disappointed, so I unhauled it. The second book on this list, I actually don't own. I borrowed all of these from Callison. So I read the Selection series by Keira and then the duology, the Heir and the Crown. And the Heir made it on my top 5 most disappointing, just because the story, it didn't feel needed. Like, the Selection wrapped up really nicely. I really enjoyed the ending. I was like, okay, this is it. This is done. This is fantastic. And then the Heir is 20 years later, and it follows the daughter of America and Maxon, and I was like, okay, maybe this will be good. And Callison did warn me. She's like, you might not like this. I like the story. I like the character development towards the end. But overall, I was like, this is just, I felt annoyed. I don't like feeling annoyed when I'm reading. And that's just kind of the overall feeling that I had. So I did give this a lower rating. Overall, I did enjoy the full series as a conclusion. So if you're looking for a nice contemporary with a little bit of action and some fantasy written into there, definitely check out the Selection series as a whole. The next two, these are the ones that we read for Books of the Month, so I won't go into too much detail, but I will mention them. So Fangirl by Rowell. You guys, if you've been following our Bookmas, you've already heard me beat this book up in my contemporary wrap-up. I won't beat this book up too much more, just because I did talk about it in my contemporary wrap-up and when we did our Book of the Month wrap up with this book a couple months ago. So if you want to listen to those, my wrap up with these, you can't, with this book you can. The links will be below. Otherwise, it has made the top disappointing books of 2019 for me. So the next one is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. I really did enjoy this story. I was just disappointed because I thought I was going to like it more. And there were some elements of the story itself that I was like, okay, I don't really like this. I don't know where it's headed. And with the sequel, I thought it was a very nice wrap up at the end. Also, the disappointment comes from the cover reveal for the sequel, Greythorn. At first, it was beautiful. It was scheduled to release in February of 2020, and then they pushed it to June 2020 with a brand new cover of a girl's face, and it just doesn't look like the same. And if we could have the original sequel cover, that'd be great. Otherwise, the story as a whole was really interesting. It was unique. I really enjoyed the magic system, the world building. There were just elements of the story that I was like, I don't really know how I feel about this. The romance is kind of weird. It's kind of like a little love triangle, but not. I might reread this next year, just kind of like at a slower pace, maybe take some better notes and kind of dive back into the story, maybe next year right after Greythorn comes out, just to kind of see if my perspective's changed at all. The last book for my top 5 most disappointing books of 2019, I'm really sad to include, just because I really enjoyed the author, just because I really enjoyed the author's writing style. I absolutely loved the first book by her that I read, and that is Now Entering Adamsville by Francesca Zappia. If you guys watched my contemporary wrap-up or any of my other book corners, you know that I absolutely love Eliza and Her Monsters. It's one of my favorite books. It's my top 10. I absolutely love that story. So when Now Entering Adamsville came out, I bought this on release day because I was like, I need this in my life. And it's a very unique story, and I really thought that I was going to enjoy it. The story itself didn't seem to go anywhere. The elements are actually really unique. I enjoyed the uniqueness of the story. I enjoyed that I didn't love the main character. The main character is kind of flawed, and there's nothing wrong with flawed characters. It was a little much. I think it was overdone in a way. The villain was a little obvious, but not, I don't know. It wasn't the best, and I'm really sad about it. And the ending is incredibly disappointing. The ending makes it seem like there's going to be a sequel, and for as far as I know, this is a standalone. I might change my mind on how I feel about this book if we do get a sequel. A Girl Can Dream. But for the most part, I'm just really disappointed. I'm not going to get rid of this book just because I absolutely love the cover, and I might reread it, maybe going into it knowing it's going to be a standalone, knowing that I might be disappointed in the ending. I might pick up on things that I actually really enjoy. But overall, if you're looking for kind of a supernatural book, this might be for you. I didn't really enjoy the full story. So that is my top 5 most disappointing books from 2019. Let me know what you thought of any of these books if you've read them. I'd love to hear your comments below. Definitely let us know if there are any that you've read that you're like, I actually like this for this reason. I'd love to hear it. Maybe it's a different perspective. And let me know the books that you were disappointed by. Maybe I have read them and I disagree with you. Who knows? I would love to hear your comments either way. Be sure to hit subscribe and the little bell icon. Right now we're in the middle of Bookmas, so we're posting videos every day until Christmas Eve, and then we're going to take a nice break until the beginning of 2020, and then we'll be right back on schedule every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Goodreads. Until next time.